for the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitches I look to sell high and trade away. The first guy, Steven Matz of the Toronto Blue Jays. So I think this is either the third or the fourth week in a row now that Matz is on the sell high list here. And what a season it's been for him so far. 23 in the third inning, a 4-0 record, 14 hits given up, 6 earned runs, 2 homers, 8 walks, 25 strikeouts, a 2.31 ERA and a 0.94 whip with 3 quality starts of Steven Matz in his first 4 starts of the season. It's been typical Matz, though, only going 5 or 6 innings. This Toronto team, they're giving him better run support than the Mets have in the last few seasons. But this is a guy that he's only good for 5 or 6 innings, like I mentioned. And tonight he versus a Washington National team that have hit him well throughout his career when he did his time with the New York Mets. But right now, you got to give Steven Matz props. He's 4-0. I know he hasn't pitched deep into ball games, really. 6 innings, maxing out a few times this season. But hey, you got to give him credit. But I don't think this is sustainable for Matz. And he's a pitcher, once things unravel or if he gives up a home run, it starts to go downhill from there for him. And so far this season, he's altered that. And he's played well. His first start of the season at Texas, 6 1/3, got the win. 2 hits, 1 earned run, a walk, 9 strikeouts, a 1.42 ERA, and a 0.47 whip with a quality start. April 10th versus the Angels, 6 innings, got the win in that one. 5 hits, 1 earned, a homer, 3 walks, 4 Ks, a 1.50 ERA, and a 1.33 whip with a quality start. Then April 17th versus the Royals, 6 innings, got the win in that one. 2 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 5 Ks, a 1.50 ERA, and a 0.67 whip in a quality start. And then his last outing at Tampa, where he versed a tough team finally. 5 innings, got the win in that one. 5 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 5.40 ERA, and a 1.40 whip. So right here, pretty solid numbers for Matz, no doubt about it. But he plays in a tough division, and right now he hasn't versed offenses yet this season like the Yankees and the Red Sox have been pretty decent. And Tampa, he did verse so far. And Baltimore, they got some pop as well. But here tonight, he versus Washington. But I think you could get a good bat here for Steven Matz or even a good starting pitcher, because I just don't believe he's going to sustain these numbers, especially a low to mid 2.5 ERA. Next pitcher to sell high this week or trade away is Trevor Rogers of the Miami Marlins. So Trevor Rogers, he's been a great starter so far here for the Miami Marlins, and for fantasy owners who picked him up or drafted him this year on the season. 28 innings pitched, 3-1 record, 18 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 homer given up, 10 walks, 38 strikeouts, a 1.29 ERA, a 1 whip, and 3 quality starts. So the only down thing here for Rogers, obviously, is his walk ratio, with 10 walks so far in the 28 innings. But this guy, he's been solid so far this season, and he's already started 5 ball games, but the last 3 for him. April 15th at Atlanta, 5 innings, no decision in that one, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 homer, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 3.60 ERA, and a 1.20 whip in that one. April 21st versus Baltimore, 7 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, no ERA, an 0.71 whip, and a quality start. And then April 26th at the Brew Crew, 6 innings, got the win in that one. 6 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 whip, and a quality start. So Rogers, he's pitching really well right now, no doubt about it. But he's in a tough division with some pretty good hitting teams. Like the Nationals could still hit the ball. The Mets, I know they're off to a slow start hitting, but once those guys get going, it's going to be tough to get some of those players out. And obviously the Atlanta Braves right here, Trevor Rogers, he's on a Marlin team that they're not going to win many games this season, I believe, especially in a pretty competitive and tough division this year with the Phillies, like I mentioned, the Braves, Mets. So right here, we'll see what Rogers can do. But right now, if you could get a good bat, like I said, or even another good starter for him, this is the time to do it. And his next matchup's May 2nd at the Washington Nationals. But right now, he's a definite sell-high candidate because of the team he's on and the numbers he's putting up so far this season. I don't think it's going to last for him. The next pitch is Danny Duffy of the Kansas City Royals. So Danny Duffy, what a season it's been so far for him. And he's pitching lights out so far in the year. 23 innings, a 3-1 record, for Duffy. 1 earned run, 1 homer, walks, 27 strikeouts, an 0.31 ERA, and a 1.04 whip with 3 quality starts. So this guy only giving up 1 earned run in his first 4 starts of the season is amazing here for Danny Duffy. But another guy here pitching way over his head, and he's on a team that's not going to get him much run support. So he's a perfect sell-high candidate, in my opinion, this week. So far, the first 4 starts for him: April 5th at Cleveland, 6 innings, got the win, 2 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, an 0.83 whip and 1 quality start. April 13th versus the Angels, 6 innings, got the win, 8 hits, 1 earned run, a homer, a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 1.50 ERA, and a 1.50 whip with a quality start. April 19th versus Tampa, got the loss in that one, 4 hits, no earned runs though, but just tough luck loser in that one. 2 walks, 8 Ks, no ERA, a 1 whip and a quality start. And then his last outing at Detroit a few days ago, 5 innings, got the win, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 0.80 whip. So right here, Danny Duffy, he's pitching the ball down, he's getting quick outs, and it helps also. He's in a pretty weak hitters division with Cleveland. They're not a great hitting team. Detroit, not really. And even Minnesota, I don't think they're that great hitting of a team so far this season, besides Nelson Cruz and Byron Buxton having big years. But his next start is May 1st at Minnesota. But right now, the main key for Duffy is he's not walking bad. It's, like I said, only 6 walks so far in the first 4 starts. But right now, I don't think he's going to sustain it. And like I said, he's on a team that's really not that good this season. So we'll see what Duffy can do. But right now, if the right deal's out there, I will look to trade him. The next pitcher is Cesar Valdez, the closer here, the Baltimore Orioles. So far this season, Valdez, he's been one of the best closers in fantasy baseball. 10 2/3 of an inning, 2-0 record, 5 saves, 8 hits only given up, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, and an 0.84 ERA and an 0.84 whip. So Valdez, he was a big pickup in first 2 weeks of the season here for fantasy owners. But now if you could flip him for a starting pitcher or something, this is the way to go. Because like I say each and every video, these closers, they're pretty much crapshoots, except the first top 5 guys in the rankings coming into the year. But April 18th here for Valdez, 2/3 of an inning he got in that one and got out of that. Then April 20th at Miami, 1 1/3, got the save, 4-out save, obviously 3 strikeouts. And then versus the Yankees 2 nights ago, 1 1/3, a save, only 1 hit, 1 K, and an 0.75 whip. So right here, Valdez, sometimes he's coming in that 8th inning where he needs to get the big out for his team and then close it out in the 9th. And so far, he's been very valuable for this Baltimore team. And to have 5 saves this early in the season is pretty impressive, especially for a guy who wasn't even going to be the closer for Baltimore, really, but won the job out in spring training, or a guy on the fantasy radar. So right here, Valdez, like I said, if you could get a good starter or even a decent bat for him, this is the time to do it before, he runs into some trouble and blows a few games, because he's in a tough division where that's very possible here for Valdez. And the 5th and final pitcher, I look to sell high and trade away Taijuan Glass of the Tampa Bay Rays. So Glass, he's been a monster so far once again this season. But this guy, he's been injury prone the last 2 or 3 seasons. The former top prospect for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who definitely gave up on him early, but so far in the early going, 30 2/3 of an inning, 2-1 record, 14 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up 9 walks, 46 strikeouts, a 2.05 ERA, and an 0.75 whip with 3 quality starts. So Glass, last season that ERA was in the 4s, and this year I think he could do 3.5 or lower in the 3s. But right now I think he's pitching over his head. But the one thing that's definitely legit about him is his strikeout to inning ratio here for Glasnow. But Glasnow, another guy obviously in a tough division with the Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, and the Boston Red Sox, and even Baltimore, like I mentioned, who could hit the baseball well. In the last 3 outings here for Glasnow versus Texas, April 12th, 7 2/3, got the win, 2 hits, 1 walk, an amazing 14 strikeouts, and an 0.39 whip and a quality start. April 17th at the Yankees, a mediocre outing, but he got the win, 5 innings, got the win, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 1.80 ERA, and a 1.20 whip. And then his last outing versus the Toronto Blue Jays, he got bombed in that one a little. 6 innings, got the loss, 5 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers given up, 2 walks. But hey, the 10 strikeouts were there at 7.50 ERA and a 1.17 whip. So his next outing's here today versus the Oakland Athletics, who've been hitting the ball pretty well, and they've won 13 out of their last 15 games as the A's. So we'll see what Glasnow has today. But right now, with that high strikeout rate and the low ERA, he's a definite sell-high candidate. But like I mentioned, he's in a tough division, and his last 2 outings, like I said, were versus division opponents. And he had 1 decent start and 1 poor start. So right now, while his value's still up there, he's definitely a sell-high candidate. And I think you could get good value and good player or 2 for him. So that's a few pitches. I would look to sell high or trade away here in week 4 of the fantasy baseball season.